we're going to be focusing on back bends and heart openers, and we'll also be doing quite a bit of work with opening the quads, and we're working into Pincha Mayurasana forearm stand. So if you have some wall space, that would be helpful as well. Let's see, what else? Yeah, that's all for now. Let's get started in child's pose. So come to your mat, take your big toes to touch and your knees wide, and then if you want to start your music, you can go ahead and start that now. Reach your arms forward, let your forehead rest on the floor. And as you rest here in child's pose, pay particular attention to the rib cage as you breathe. And so feel your rib cage expand with every breath. And with every exhale, you can perceive this drawing in and upward of the low belly. Take 2 more full breaths just like this. One of my favorite concepts in yoga is Chidananda. It translates to consciousness and bliss. So Chid is consciousness and Ananda is bliss. Stay for 1 more full breath. And then go ahead and shift forward to a puppy pose. Stack your knees over, knees below the hips. Reach the arms forward and let your heart melt down towards the floor. You can either take the chin or the forehead on the floor. And this concept of Chidananda, when we apply it to our yoga practice, it's really the so what. It's like the greatest reason why we show up on our mats. With the heart melting down towards the floor, just take a moment to consider what that is for you. Stay connected to your breath. And slowly shift up to tabletop. Spread your fingers wide, ground your index knuckles and your fingerprints into the mat. And as you inhale, drop your belly, cow pose, broaden across your collarbones, look up. Exhale, round through your spine, send your hips back, child's pose. Link the breath to the movement. Inhale, shift forward, come up to cow pose, drop the belly, lift the heart. Exhale, round the spine through cat pose, back to child's. 3 more like this. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Really use the connection of the breath with the movement. So each inhale initiates the movement, lasts the entire length of the movement. Each exhale initiates following movement, lasts the entire length of the movement. Good. The next time you're in child's pose, gaze forward, shift forward so the knees, chest, and the chin all come to touch the mat. The elbows and the hips are lifted up into the air. Then slither all the way onto your belly, come to a low cobra. Inhale, lift. And exhale, press yourself back to child's pose. We'll flow through that 3 more times with breath. Inhale forward, knees, chest, and chin. All the way to the belly, come up to cobra. And exhale, back, child's pose. Use the breath. Inhale forward, let it last the entire length of the movement, all the way up to your cobra. Exhale, back, child's pose. And just 1 more time, let it be the most connected round of breath yet. Top of the inhale, full cobra. Exhale, back, child's pose. Good. Shift forward, curl your toes under, lift your hips to downward facing dog. Paddle out your feet, feel the backs of your legs stretch and open. And then find stillness. Press the hands down into the mat. Lift your shoulders away from your hands and your hips away from your shoulders. And then from there, keep all the strength around your shoulders, but let your heart melt towards the floor. Inhale, lift the right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend your knee, open your hip. Gaze underneath your left shoulder, gaze for your toes. Inhale, straighten out your legs, square off your hips. Exhale, hug your knee in towards your chest and gently plant the foot between your hands. Lower your back knee. Inhale, rise to Anjaneyasana, reach the arms overhead. Good, so create some strength through your legs by grounding your right heel down and back, so you'll feel the inner thighs engage. Interlace your hands behind your head. Let your head fall back into your hands and hug your elbows in towards each other. Look up. Then start to lift the sternum away from the low belly. Find a gentle back bend. And gently release your hands to the mat. Shift your hips back. Half splits. Flex the front toes. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, shift forward, bend the knee. Come into a half camel pose. Circle the left arm all the way up and back, reaching for your left calf or your ankle. And the right arm reaches up and back as well. So this is a huge opener through the front of the left hip. Hands come back down to the mat, lift up the back knee, step back to downward dog. Or you can cycle through a chaturanga if you want to build some heat. Good, from downward facing dog, inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, bend your knee, open your hip. Gaze underneath the right shoulder, look for your toes. Inhale, straighten out the leg. Exhale, knee in towards nose, lightly plant the foot between your hands, lower your back knee down. Anjaneyasana on the breath in, lift up. Hug the back shin in towards the midline, interlace the hands behind the head, and then again, find that gentle back bend and let it come from the mid to upper back. It's almost as if there's a shelf for your upper back to rest on behind you. Exhale, lower the hands to the floor, half splits, shift your hips back, straighten your front leg, flex your toes. Inhale, lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, shift forward, come into that half camel. Right arm reaches up and back, lift the left arm up. And then stay here for a round of breath and really breathe into the front of the right hip. Exhale, bring the hands back to the mat, lift the back knee, and go ahead and cycle through a flow. Come all the way down to the belly or lower halfway. Lift up for cobra or up dog. Exhale, back downward facing dog. Breathe in and look to your hands. And as you exhale, tiptoe to the top of the mat. Take your feet nice and wide, even wider than hip width distance apart. Put a subtle bend in the knees and drape your belly over your thighs. And sway side to side. Good, so we're gonna do a little bit of strengthening in the low back. So keep the feet wider than hip width distance apart. All 10 toes point forward. And then bend the knees And think about sending the hips up and back, even though the knees are bent. So the spine is really long. And then take the hands by the shoulders, kind of like you're doing those like barbell lifts. So as you send the hips up and back, send the chest forward, ground into your inner heels, and slowly rise. Keep the knees bent. We're just going to do a couple of these to really strengthen the low back. Good. Exhale, fold. Keep the spine nice and long. Inhale, lift. We'll call this Uber Utkatasana. Exhale, fold. One more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Let it go. Fold all the way. Toe heel your feet slightly closer together, feet under hips. Ground into the mat, and as you inhale with a long spine, rise all the way up to stand on your breath in. Exhale, hands to heart. Close the eyes. Stay for a couple breaths. And return to that Chidananda. That's so what? What is the highest reason that you show up on your mat? Inhale, lift your arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Breathe in, halfway lift, lengthen spine. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step back to high plank. Take your flow, lower halfway or all the way. Lift up for cobra or up. Exhale, back, down dog. Breathe in, look forward. Breathe out, travel to the top of the mat. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stand tall, arms overhead, rise. Hands to heart, exhale. Good, just one more full round. Inhale, rise. Link the breath with your movement. Exhale, fold. Let the breath last the entire length of each movement. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, flow. Plant palms, cycle high to low. Inhale, brings you into a back bend. Exhale, back to downward dog. Use the strength of your core. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel to the top of the mat. Take your Uber Utkatasana. Inhale, rise. This time, lift the arms up and overhead. So the knees they're bent, but they're almost straight. Hips are reaching back. Good. Inhale, rise, stand tall. Exhale, fold. Step the left foot to the back of the mat. Spin your heel down. Inhale, warrior one, lift up. Good. We'll take Gomukhasana arms. Left arm is up, right arm is down. Bending at the elbows, reach back for opposite fingertips. If you'd like to use a strap here, that can be helpful. I think you guys have done this with me before. I find this to be one of the best ways to open up the shoulders. Keeping the hips square. Take a breath in, lift up through the heart. And exhale, bow from the crease of your right hip, but keep your spine really long. On your next inhale, take just a little cobra through the chest. So you're just lifting the upper back. Almost as if you're pressing your upper back into your hands. Reach your left elbow forward. Good, gently release, plant your palms, cycle through a flow, or just come to downward facing dog. Inhale, look to your hands. And exhale, hop to the top of the mat. Feet are nice and wide, halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come to Uber Utkatasana. Send the hips back, heart is lifted. Stay for a round of breath. Really feel the strengthening through the mid to low back. Breathe in, rise, straighten your legs, stand tall. And exhale, fold. Halfway lift as you inhale. Exhale, fold. Step the right foot to the back of your mat. Spin your heel down. Rise to warrior one. Gomukhasana, cow-faced arms. The right arm is up this time. Reach for opposite fingertips or that strap behind you. And then before you fold forward, find your foundation through your lower body. Keep the front knee bent, the hips square. Inhale, lift up through the heart, and exhale, hinge from the left hip crease. So it's the chest and the right elbow that are reaching forward. The left hip is pulling back. And as you inhale, take that gentle back bend. Feel the strength through your back as you inhale. Good, gently release, chaturanga or downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel to the top of the mat. Breathe in and lift halfway. Breathe out and fold. Inhale, chair pose, just a regular chair pose, regular Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold. We'll take one flow of sun B, half lift, inhale. Exhale, plant the palms, chaturanga or downward facing dog. From down dog, step your right foot forward. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Use your breath. Exhale, chaturanga or downward dog. Left foot forward. Inhale, warrior one as you rise. Exhale, chaturanga or downward facing dog. We'll meet in downward dog. So once you find that downward dog, gaze to your hands, spread your fingers really wide, and grip the mat with your fingertips. Then gently start to micro bend your elbows. Maybe you take elbows all the way down to the floor into a dolphin pose. And press the hands back into the mat and see if you might be able to lift both elbows at the same time back to downward dog. Good, let's just do a few more of those. They're little down dog push-ups. Lowering the elbows, elbows lift. You can do one elbow at a time, but just notice what muscles engage in the body to make this happen. Good, come to child's pose for a moment and rest. Let the hips reach towards the heels, arms reach forward. Connect your forehead to the mat. Stay for 2 more rounds of breath and notice where in the body energy is circulating. Good, as you inhale, shift forward, find tabletop. Curl the toes under, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Breathe in, look forward to your hands. And exhale, travel to the top of the mat. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come to your chair pose, Utkatasana. And we'll take eagle. The left arm is under, left leg up and over. You can squeeze outer shins together or wrap your left foot all the way around your right leg. Find a steady point of focus in front of you. Lift your elbows up towards shoulder height and press your hands away from your face. Inhale, lengthen the belly. Exhale, hinge forward from the crease of the hips. Bring the elbows in front of your knees. Keep a long spine. Inhale, rise back to eagle pose. Lift the left knee. Keep your eagle arms, warrior 3 in the legs. Reach the left leg back. And find this space between your shoulder blades. Open that space and lift it towards the ceiling. Then lift the left heel a little higher. Standing splits, lower your hands down towards the mat. Lift the left leg high. Plant the hands and hop the right foot all the way to the back of the mat. So you're in a 3-leg down dog. Good, bring your left knee in towards your nose. Inhale, lift the left leg high. Good, Good, left knee in towards the nose. Inhale, lift it high. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Good, inhale, straighten the leg, square off the hips. Exhale, plant the foot between the hands, warrior two, open up. Left leg is forward. Gaze over your left fingertips and settle into the posture. Good, send your thigh bones to the back plane of the body. The legs are really strong. Inhale, reverse warrior. Lift your left arm up and back. Keep sending the thigh bones to the back plane of the body. Maybe you can get a little deeper side bend. Extended side angle. Reach forward and down. Elbow can rest on your knee or take your hand to the inside of your foot or to a block. Now in your extended side angle, start to spiral the inner body towards the ceiling. Prasarita, wide leg forward fold, spin on your front foot, feet come to parallel or slightly pigeon-toed, legs straight. Good, in your wide leg forward fold, reach your hands away from you so the upper body is like a down dog. And breathe, melt the heart towards the floor, feel the opening through your shoulders. Plant your hands underneath your shoulders. Listen carefully, it's kind of an awkward transition. Bring as much weight as you can into your hands. Your arms are really straight, and then hop your feet together to touch. The left hand comes to your left ankle, right hand to your right hip. Rise into tree pose, Vrikshasana. Take the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Bring your hands to lotus mudra at your chest, pinkies and thumbs meet. Inhale, extend your arms up overhead. Exhale, press the palms together, take the hands back to your heart. Good, we're in tree pose. Inhale, lotus pose, lifts the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring the hands back to the heart. One more round. Inhale, lift. And exhale, hands back to heart. This time as you inhale, lift the arms overhead, lift the chest. And as you exhale, cactus your arms, hug your left knee in towards your left elbow. Look to the top of the mat, half moon, take a big step forward. Standing on the left foot, lift the right leg up. Half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Option to bend the top knee, reach back for the foot or the ankle for Chapasana, if it feels good in your body. And breathe. Chapasana is release back to your half moon. Standing splits, lower the right hand down, square off your hips. Big breath in here, lengthen outward. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to chair pose, Utkatasana. Garudasana on the right, sweep the right arm under, right leg lifts up and over. Sink the hips really low and think about lengthening your spine. It's like all the secrets in the universe can be found in your spine. And the spine is really long. Inhale, lengthen the abdomen. Exhale, hinge forward from the crease of the hips. So keep the spine nice and long as you fold forward. Inhale, back to eagle. Maintain your arms, unravel the leg, lift the right knee up. Warrior three with the legs, reach the right leg back. Keep your eagle arms. Then pick the back of the heart up towards the ceiling, right heel to the ceiling. Standing splits is the release. Lower your hands to the floor. Plant the hands firmly into the mat, and then hop your left foot back. You're coming into a three-legged dog. Right leg is high. Exhale, right knee to nose. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, leg high. Exhale, bend your knee, open your hip. Inhale, leg high. And exhale, warrior two. Plant your right foot between your hands. Open up. Settle in and breathe. Gaze over your right fingertips. And then again, think about bringing the thighs towards the back plane of the body. Then send the tailbone down. So there's a lot of strength in the lower body. Breathe in and reverse your warrior. And as you send that left thigh back, maybe you go a little bit deeper. Woo. Extended side angle, reaching forward and down. Keep length through both side bodies. And start to spiral the inner body, the chest and the belly button to the ceiling. Breathe. Wide leg forward fold. Spin on your right foot. Feet are parallel. Good. This time we'll take a little twist here. So take your left hand over towards your right shin or your right ankle, whatever you can reach, and reach your right arm forward. So the right arm is kind of in that down dog shape. As you inhale, lengthen your spine, and as you exhale, twist towards the right. So use the strength of the left arm to twist the spine. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist. Take two more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Use your breath to your benefit. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Other side, reach the left arm forward. Right hand to the shin or the ankle or the foot, whatever you can reach. Inhale, twist, or inhale, lengthen, and exhale, twist. 3 more on your own breath. Notice how, as you exhale, you draw in and up through the low belly, and it aids in a deeper twist. Good. Plant your hands underneath your shoulders, straight arms, ground into your hands, and hop your feet together, center of the mat. Right hand to the right ankle, left hand to the left hip, tree pose. Lift the right foot to your inner thigh. Good. Bring your hands back into Lotus Mudra, Padma Mudra. And as you inhale, lift the arms towards the ceiling. Maybe you lift your gaze. Exhale, palms meet, hands come back to heart center. Twice more like this. Inhale, rise. And exhale, bring the hands back. Right, so the lotus grows out of the mud. Inhale, lift. This is a recognition, a symbolism that from challenge and struggle, there's beauty and growth. Inhale, arms overhead. This time as you exhale, cactus your arms. Hug your right knee in towards your right elbow. Look forward, half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Step forward and lower the right hand to the floor or to a block. And then of course, if you'd like, go ahead, take Chapasana. It's one of my favorite poses. It just feels so good to me. You can spiral inner body towards the ceiling. Everyone, release back into your half moon. Standing splits, square yourself up, lift inner left heel to the ceiling, and forward fold. Halfway lift, breathe in, exhale, fold. Let's flow through Asana. Breathe in, rise, stand tall. Exhale, fold forward. Link your breath with your movement. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, chaturanga, or skip it and come to your downward facing dog. Stay in downward dog. 3 full breaths. Feel energy circulating in your body. Right, this Chidananda, this so what? This practice is connection with reality, connection with things being exactly as they are. Breathe in, look forward. halfway lift, rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stand tall, sweep the arms up. And take the hands to meet at heart center. Good, we're gonna take a little intermission in our flow. So head over to a wall. I don't really have wall space, so I'm gonna use this sofa, the edge of this sofa. And I think that should work just fine. You might wanna have some extra cushion for your knees. We're gonna be opening up the quad and the hip flexors. So once you come to that space along the wall, if you need a cushion, go ahead and you can double up your mat or put a blanket at the baseboard of the wall. And we'll start with the left knee. So bend the left heel towards your left glute, and then bring that left knee all the way to the baseboard. From there, ground onto your hands and step your right foot up. Okay, so you're kind of in a lunge, right? Now, you can either keep your hands right here. This can be quite a bit of intensity. So just listen to your body and like really honor your body. If you want to go a little deeper, maybe you take your hands up to your right thigh. You can stay right there. If you want to feel this a little bit more, think about spreading your sit bones apart and then lengthening the tailbone down towards the floor. And it's like, woo, hello, left quadricep. Yeah. Okay, so again, you could stay right there and breathe, or maybe you bring your arms overhead. Maybe you rest your upper back against the wall. Keep thinking about lengthening the tailbone down towards the floor. So it's like this drawing forward of the pubic bone. Lift the sternum up and breathe. Just breathe into the intensity. And very, very slowly, come on out of it. Take your time. This one is a real killer. And then go ahead and switch to the other side. There's other ways of getting into this. I find it's easiest if I bring my right knee to the baseboard first. I should have mentioned, I have this place where I can flex my foot over. If you're up against a wall, you can just point the toes up towards the ceiling, or you might even flex the foot and press the ball of your foot into the wall. Either way works. Okay, bring the left foot forward. Can stay right here and breathe. This is intense on its own. Or take the hand to the thigh. Spread the sit bones apart. Lengthen the tailbone between the sit bones. Feel that huge opening. Right quad. Breathe into it. Maybe arms come overhead. Keep lengthening tailbone down. Keep breathing. Good, gently come down. Remove the foot from the wall. And then stay on the wall. This is gonna be interesting. I'm gonna have to use this little piece of window here. Now we're gonna practice some forearm stand, just like we did in handstand a couple weeks ago against the wall, except for with forearm stand. So go ahead and come to a tabletop against the wall. So your feet are on the wall and your shoulders and hands are stacked. Come on down to your elbows. Elbows are underneath the shoulders. A couple options. You could either keep your forearms parallel to one another, or you can interlace your hands and press your pinkies into the floor. So either one works just fine. I'm gonna keep my forearms parallel. Curl the toes under and lift your hips into dolphin. And from here, can you make a trench in the upper back? So it's a melting of the heart. Step one foot onto the wall and step the other foot onto the wall. You'll come into this L shape. Pump the chest, press the elbows into the floor. If you'd like, you can lift one leg up toward the ceiling. Maybe the other leg to the ceiling. And maybe you even get a little air time. So go ahead, take another 30 seconds or so to play with this. And if you're like, I've had enough, child's pose is also a great opener for the chest. So you can stay in child's pose and just reach the arms forward and let the heart melt towards the floor. And just another couple rounds of breath or a few more moments of playtime. Sometimes I like to take a little intermission in my flow. And once you've had enough of that and you're nice and warm, come back to the center of the room and come back to the top of the mat. And I'll give you guys a moment to set up here. So while I do, this next transition is a little tricky. So I'm just going to talk through it and demonstrate it before we all flow together. So we're going into another round of flow, and we'll transition through crow pose. So as you come into crow pose, you don't have to worry about lifting your feet. It's just the general shape of the pose. When we go into the right side, I'll have you float just the left leg to the back of the mat. The right knee is still on the arm. Then you'll inhale and lift the right leg up, and we'll move into our flow. Okay, so come on to the top of the mat, feet nice and wide. Let the arms hang by your sides. Return to your breath, return to your center. Take a full inhale. Full exhale. Let's go. Inhale, arms overhead, sweep up, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, come into your variation of crow pose, whatever that looks like for you. Gaze forward. Keep your right knee and your right arm connected to one another and float your left foot to the back of the mat. Inhale, lift your right leg high, three-legged down dog. That's where we'll meet. Exhale, right knee to nose. Inhale, lift the leg high, bend the knee, open the hip. Option to flip your dog here. Good, breathe in, come back to three-legged dog. Exhale, plant your foot, warrior two, spin your back heel down, and rise. Good, warrior two, settle in. Breathe in, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Good, simply square yourself off, runner's lunge. Toe heel the right foot to the top right corner of the mat, and lower your back knee. Good, let's work with some back bends here. So a couple options. You can come up onto your hands. We already did this against the wall. So again, think about opening up through the sit bones, then lengthening tailbone down between that space. From there, lift up and back. Maybe you interlace your hands and create a steeple grip. Bring the biceps by the ears. Keep squeezing inner thighs towards one another and draw a line across the ceiling. Gently release hands to floor and step into a lunge, so lift the back knee. Good, let's just take a gentle twist. Reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale, lower the right hand, standing splits, lift the left leg up. Rise to one-legged Tadasana. Ground onto the right foot, lift your left knee. And then take dancer's pose here. Bring the left hand to the inner left thigh. Square off the hips, sweep the leg back, right arm reaches forward, and go ahead, come on in. So as you breathe in dancer's pose, again, think about squaring the heart off to the front of the room. And gently release. Inhale, arms overhead, grab hold of your left wrist, take a side body stretch up and over to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, side body stretch to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, forward fold. Come on back to your crow pose. Your variation, again, feet don't need to leave the mat. Just work the knees onto the backs of the arms. Good, this time keep the left knee connected to the left arm. Float your right foot back. Inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, left knee to nose. Inhale, leg high. Bend your knee, flip your dog if it feels good. Open up across the heart. Inhale, three-legged dog. And exhale, step through, warrior two, open up. Settle in. Reverse warrior on your next inhale. Extended side angle, exhale, reach forward and down. Spiral chest to the ceiling, inhale. Exhale, runner's lunge. Square the hips, toe heel your left foot to the top left corner of the mat, and lower the right knee. So, I should have mentioned, I like having a little bit of space between like the feet, so it's not so much like I'm on train tracks here, it's more like, or it is more like train tracks, not a balance beam. Just nice to have a little more stability, okay? Interlace your hands overhead, find your steeple grip. Spread your sit bones, lengthen your tailbone down. So the lower body is like rock solid strong. Lift the sternum and start to draw a line across the ceiling. Continue to breathe. Gently release the hands to the mat. Lift the back knee, take an easy twist. Hopefully it just feels kind of nice after that back bend. Plant the hands on the floor, standing splits, right leg lifts high, breathe in and lift up. And exhale, hug the right knee into the chest and rise all the way into your one-legged mountain pose. Good, go ahead and take dancers. Reach for the inner right foot. Square off the hips, find your balance, find your breath. Left arm overhead. So then once you have your balance, go ahead and kick up and back with the right leg. Reaching forward with the left hand. Keep the heart lifted. Continue to breathe. Then very slowly let that go. Inhale, rise, both arms overhead. Exhale, open arm twist. Reach your right arm back, left arm forward. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, open arm twist, other direction. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Breathe in and lift halfway. Breathe out, downward dog, or take a chaturanga, take a flow if your body wants it. Good, gaze forward in your down dog, gaze forward to your hands. Shift forward to a plank and hit the deck. Come on down to the belly. I've got a little knot under my belly, so I just need to do a little wardrobe adjustment. Okay, take a rest, a belly down shavasana. Either side of the face can rest on the floor. Completely let go here, so you're completely effortless. And feel the heartbeat on the floor. Good, bring your head to center. Bend your knees and reach back for the outer edges of your feet. We'll take Dhanurasana, bow pose. Now, before we get into this, think about, once again, spreading the sit bones, and then we'll send the tailbone between the sit bones. So kind of inchworm the hips up a little bit. It's like going into dysfunction before we go into function. So lift the hips a little bit so you can feel the spreading of the sit bones. Then in that space, send the tailbone between the sit bones and lift up into your Dhanurasana. Good, you can stay right here. Maybe you rock all the way to one side. I love to do this in bow pose. Maybe you come back to center, woo, and rock to the other side. Once you come back to center, take one final lift, one final breath, and let it go. Take the opposite ear to the floor, completely relax. Catch your breath. And bring your head back to center. Take your hands underneath your shoulders and just press up to a tabletop. And then come on to a seat. We'll do a few seated spinal twists before we head down to our back. And I'll just face you here. Starting with left heel by the right sit bone, right leg up and over the left. Plant your right hand behind your low back. Rather than lifting the right arm here, I'm going to have you take your left hand onto your right knee. Lift the chest so the belly gets really long. Twist the left side of the belly towards the right thigh. From there, you can go ahead and hook the elbow. So it's okay to use the strength of our arms to assist us sometimes in these postures. Now, in this twist, lean the right shoulder blade back. So you're sort of leaning back into it. Gaze over the right shoulder and breathe. Good, just a counter twist, a gentle counter twist to the other side. Walk your hands to the left side of the mat. You can actually round your head and upper back here, kind of, again, sort of go into the dysfunction. And then come back to center, simply switch to the other side. Right leg down, left leg up and over. Plant the left hand behind your low back. Use the right hand on the left knee and twist the right side of the belly towards the thigh. Then go ahead and place the right elbow outside the knee. Keep lengthening your spine and let the mid to upper back lean back. Breathe. Counter stretch to the other side. Walk your hands to the right side of the mat and round the mid to upper back. Good, unravel your legs and go ahead and lie down on your back. We'll do one round of bridge pose and then one round of wheel. And if you'd like, you can just do 2 rounds of bridge or 2 rounds of wheel. For bridge pose, start by bending your elbows so the hands are reaching up towards the ceiling, elbows are next to the rib cage. From there, press the elbows into the floor, lift the shoulder blades and squeeze the shoulder blades together, then place them back down. Ground your inner heels down and apart, press the feet into the floor, lift the hips. And as the chin reaches away from the chest reaches towards the chin. If you'd like, you can interlace your hands and press your pinkies into the mat, squeeze shoulder blades closer together. Now, in this pose, as you squeeze inner thighs towards one another, let the glutes be somewhat loose. So they're just like, it's like only the inner glutes are engaged. The outer glutes are soft. Lift the right hip up toward the ceiling. Good, lift the left hip towards the ceiling. Once more each side, right hip to the ceiling. And left hip to the ceiling. Both hips to the ceiling. Release your hands. Sit bones come back down to the floor first. Good. Before we move into wheel, just take a moment here, bring the hands to the belly, and knock your knees together to touch. Feel your breath moving in and out of the body. You can feel the perceptible movement beneath your hands. Good. Second set, bridge or wheel. Go ahead, take bridge pose if that's what you would like to take. I'm going to talk you through wheel. So just like you did for your bridge pose, squeeze the upper back and place it back down on the floor so the heart is already nice and open. Then take the hands next to your ears. Fingertips point forward. You might want to take the hands a little bit wider than shoulder width distance apart. So the low back is already lifted off the floor. The hips are heavy. Now, make a little pit stop by pressing up onto your head. So you're on your head, you hug your shoulders back, and then all at once, press into the floor, straighten the arms, lift up. You can look down at your hands. You can take a couple rounds of pumping the chest back behind you. Maybe in your wheel pose, you're feeling really good. You want to lift one leg towards the ceiling, and then the other. Maybe you just want to stay here and breathe. And all together, go ahead, lower down, sit bones first. So don't roll the spine back down. Keep that nice natural curve in the low back. Hands together, or hands to low belly, knees together. And feel that sense of euphoria, that aliveness wash over you. Good, reach your arms overhead, reach your feet towards the top of the mat. Take a full body stretch here. Bring the right knee into the chest. You can keep the low back slightly lifted off the mat. When removing pose, hug the right knee to the right side body. And spinal twist, guide the knee across your body. Come on into your twist. Keep the shoulders grounded, the abdomen long, the spine long. Continue to breathe. Good, come back to center. Hug your left knee into your outer left rib cage. Supine spinal twist, guide your knee across your body. Ground onto your left shoulder. The abdomen is long, the breath is flowing really fluidly, really smoothly. Come back to center. Happy baby, bring your knees in towards your armpits, reach for the edges of your feet, flex your feet, and then again, can you think about lifting the low back slightly? So bring a slight curve into the low back by sending sit bones forward. And you'll notice how that creates even more opening through the hips. You can sway side to side if you'd like. You can straighten one leg and then the other. And finishing with our Ananda Balasana, or happy baby, or blissful baby. Coming back to Chidananda, the so what, the highest purpose, the highest reason that we show up on our mats. Hug your knees into your chest, wrap the arms around the knees, take a huge breath, fill up with air, and exhale, come to your final Shavasana. Take up space on your mat, close your eyes. Can really feel the body completely at ease, completely restful. All of the work is done. There's nothing to do. There's no one to please. These next few moments are just for you. I'll let you rest here in silence, and I will guide you out. For a moment before moving the body, with the eyes closed, bring your awareness back into sensation in the body. You can feel subtle tingling in the fingers and the toes, slight pulse or heartbeat. And for a moment, simply consider the miracle that is you. That your eyes can see and your ears can hear, your heart beats and your lungs breathe. You have a mind that thinks. A simple miracle, the simple gift of what is right here. And that's the Chidananda. So what? And with that gift, reach your arms overhead, take a full body stretch. Breathing into the fullness of you. And then hug your knees in towards your chest. And come to a fetal position on either side. Very slowly press yourself up to a seat. Bring your palms to meet at heart center, Anjali Mudra. Seal the practice. Namaste.